Okay, today we're going to talk about graphing lines. We've been graphing lines. In this case, we're going to do it without a calculator. So this is going to work out well for those of you who don't have a calculator with you all the time. And it's actually easier, I think, to graph lines without a calculator. So let's just get a highlighter going. And what I would like you to highlight is slope and single point on the line. And I want you to highlight those because if you're given a slope and one point on the line, you have enough information to graph the line. So let's go down to exercise 1. It says for each part of this problem, the slope of the line is given. So slope is given along with a point. So there's a slope and a point, exactly what we need to graph the line through which the line passes. So graph the line and write its equation in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, before I do anything else, the minute I see write its equation, I should be writing m equals b equals. Okay, we'll get back to that. Let's go and graph this line. So here is a slope and here is a point on the line. First thing we're going to do is plot the point. So it's -4, 2. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our slope in order to plot a couple of more points. So if I start at this point that is on the line and I go up 1 over 2, rise over run, up 1, rise 1, run 2, I get another point. And actually 2 points is enough to graph the line. But we're going to go up another 1 and over 2. And now we have 3 points, and I could continue up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. I could actually go down 1, left 2. And there I have several points that are on this line. And that's all from 1 point and a slope. I'm going to take my straight edge and I'm going to graph this line by connecting the points that are on the line. Okay, so make sure you have that line there, and every line needs arrows. So you're going to put arrows at either end. And you're going to write the equation of the line. Well, we have a little issue here. We need to know what the equation of the line is. So let me just move this down a bit. Okay, so we need, in order to write the equation of a line, we talked about this yesterday, we need an m, which we were given, 1 over 2, so that's good. And we need a b. Well, we learned how to find the b algebraically, but actually, if we look at our graph, the b just represents the y-intercept. And our graph is showing us that this line goes through the y-axis at 4, at y equals 4. So I have an m, I have a b. So y equals 1/2 x plus 4. And that's it. You graphed the line, you wrote the equation, and now we can label the line. So it's y equals 1/2 x plus 4. And that's how you graph a line when you don't have a calculator. Okay, next one. We're given the slope and we're given a point. And remember, we're going to have to write that equation of the line. So over here we write m equals b equals. We begin by plotting the point that's given. So it's -2, 1, right there. And then we use our slope. Our slope is -3 over 2 or 3 over -2. So there's a common question that's asked here. Where does this negative go? Well, basically anywhere you want. So I can write -3 over 2 as -3 over 2 or 3 over -2. It doesn't matter. I'll show you why. Let's plot this point. -2, 1. Oh, I did that already. And now let's use our slope. Let's use the first slope. It's -3. So down 3 over 2. Make another point. Down 3 over 2. I could actually go up 3 and left 2. Up. Well, what did I just do? I just used this one then. Up 3, left 2, which is -2. I can go either way. Okay, so now we're going to continue on. We're going to we're going to connect our points here with a straight edge. Make sure, please, that you're using a straight edge and that it's going through all the points. And then we want to make sure that we have arrows at either end. And we want to label the line with the equation of the line, which in this case we have not written yet. So let's get that done. Well, it's y equals, here's our m value, and we can write it the way it was given, -3 over 2 x. And then our b value, well, this is it. It's where the line or the graph of the line goes through the y-axis, and that's at -2. So it's -3 over 2x minus 2. Our b value is -2. And that's how you graph a line without a calculator. Okay. Okay, we're going to continue on to exercise 2. So above here it says, we see from this example that if we know a single point on the line and the line's slope, we can quickly graph the line. One point that is easily determined from its equation comes from the y-intercept. So now what we're going to do is we're going to graph the line given the equation of the line. So it says state the slope. M equals, well, remember, this is y equals mx plus b. M, the slope, is the coefficient of x. So m, in this case, is going to be the 1 over 3. And b is this what we call a constant. It's the number at the end that's not the coefficient of anything. Okay, so that is a -1. So if we're given the equation, we're actually given a slope and a point. The point happens to be the y-intercept. And so we can plot that point, -1, and use our slope, up 1 over 3, to plot several more points, up 1 over 3. So here's where I was telling you in prior lessons that b in the y equals mx plus b, it is the y-intercept. But the nice thing about it having a b is because that's where you begin when you plot a line. You begin at the y-intercept and then use the slope to plot the several other points that you're going to plot. So we begin at -1 and then we went up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3. We take our straight edge and we can go like that. And we need arrows to show that the line goes on forever. I'm just going to fix this one here. It's a little off. Okay, and then we need to name the line. The name of the line is the equation of the line. Y equals 1/3 x minus 1. Okay, so it asked us to state the slope and the y-intercept, which we did, and now it said here to graph the line, which we did. So that's how you graph a line without a calculator. You need one slope and one point. Okay, let's keep going here. What do we have next? Now, I just want to remind you, you can always use the table of values from the calculator. That's a choice that you have. You do not have to do it this way, But this way is very good if you don't have a calculator. And I find it quicker. Once I have this type of system down, I really never use a calculator again as far as graphing a line is concerned. Okay, so number 3 says, consider the linear function 3y minus 2x equals negative 6. The first thing we want to do is we want to put it in y equals mx plus b form, which is exactly what we do when we use the calculator. So let me rewrite that. 3y minus 2x equals negative 6. I'm trying to get y alone. Here's y. That's going to stay. Everything else has to go. I'm going to add 2x to both sides because I want to use my inverse operations to get everything on the other side of the equal sign. So that's going to be gonzo. That's going to be 3y equals 2x minus 6. I still have a coefficient on y. I don't want that to be there. So I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. I don't really have room to write it. Okay, I'm going to rewrite this up here. I want you to be able to see this. 3y equals 2x minus 6. I have to divide by 3 on both sides of the equation. The way I tend to write it, though, is I'm dividing by 3 on every term. It just works out better that way. People tend not to make as many mistakes if you write it that way. Okay, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1y equals y. So that's y equals. This is 2x over 3, but it actually can be written as 2/3 x because we want to be able to say our slope is 2/3. Okay, so you're going to kind of pull this 2/3 off of the x there and make it the coefficient of x. And then you have minus, and then you have 6 divided by 3, which is a 2. So that's just getting y alone. We've done that before. Okay, we have an m equals, and in this case, our m is negative 2 over 3. We have a b in the y equals mx plus b world. Our b here is a negative 2. So we begin by graphing negative 2, which is our y-intercept. And in this case, with the slope being negative 2 over 3, we're going to go down 2 and then right 3. So it's a negative 2 and then a positive 3. Down and then positive. Now, as I mentioned before, we can go the other way. We can go up 2 and left 3. And that should really be enough for us to plot a nice line here. So we take our straight edge and we connect the points that are on this line. Okay, I'm just going to fix mine a little bit. Okay, and we want to label the line. So we have an equation. Oh, actually we have 2 equations. We have this guy that was given to us, and then we rewrote it to be y equals. We can plot the line with the original equation. Okay, so it's going to be 3y minus 2x equals negative 6. Okay, I just want to stop and take a look at some here. We have a negative slope and we have a line going downward from left to right. That's always something that you want to check, just so you have sort of a little check on, am I doing this right? Am I plotting this correctly? Did I make any mistakes along the way? That's one way you can check, and always go back. B equals negative 2. Negative is going to be below the x-axis, okay? So that begin point should be down there. Just double check your numbers every once in a while as you're going through. Okay, now, so we've graphed the equation on the grid. And now it says, does the point negative 36 comma negative 2 lie on this line? Justify your answer. Well, look at my grid. That's not going to go to negative. So time's going to run out, so we'll pick this up in class. Have a good night.